You feel it right now. Maybe it is a low hum of anxiety sitting somewhere behind your ribs. Maybe it is a quiet pull of sadness you cannot quite explain. Maybe you woke up this morning and the world felt heavier than it did yesterday, and you have no idea why. You call it a feeling, you trust it, you act on it. But what if the emotion you are experiencing right now has almost nothing to do with reality and almost everything to do with chemistry you inherited from an ancestor who died 100,000 years ago? That is not a metaphor. That is neuroscience. Here is what nobody tells you. Every emotion you have ever felt, every moment of joy, grief, rage, longing, shame, or euphoria was not a response to the world. It was a response to a chemical signal. Your brain received data, cross-referenced it against millions of years of survival programming, and then flooded your bloodstream with a cocktail of molecules designed to make you act in a very specific way. The world did not make you feel anything, your brain did. And your brain, as it turns out, is not always telling the truth. This changes everything you think you know about yourself. In the 1960s, psychologist Stanley Schachter and his colleague Jerome ran one of the most unsettling experiments in the history of emotional science. They injected participants with adrenaline, the hormone your body releases when it perceives danger or excitement. Some participants were told what they had been given, others were not told anything. Then they placed each participant in a waiting room with a paid actor who either behaved in a giddy, playful way or in an angry, agitated way. What happened next rewrote the rulebook on human emotion. The participants who did not know they had been injected looked at the actor and absorbed his emotional state completely. They felt whatever he performed. If he was euphoric, they felt euphoric. If he was angry, they felt angry. Their bodies were already activated by the adrenaline, already primed for intensity, and their brains, searching for an explanation, borrowed the nearest one available, the person in the room with them. The emotion felt completely real. It came with a story, a cause, a logic. None of it was true. Schachter and Singer called this the two-factor theory of emotion. You need two things to feel an emotion: a physical state of arousal and a label your brain assigns to explain it. Change the label and you change the emotion. The chemistry stays the same. Your brain is doing this to you constantly, every single day. Think about the last time you felt irritable for no reason. You snapped at someone you love. You felt a low, simmering frustration that seemed to attach itself to everything you touched. You probably told yourself a story about why, the traffic, the noise, that thing someone said 3 days ago. But the truth is more uncomfortable. Your body may have simply been in a state of mild cortisol elevation from poor sleep or dehydration or a blood sugar dip. Your brain felt the activation, reached for the nearest narrative, and handed you an emotion fully assembled, complete with a cause that felt airtight. You believed it. Of course you did. You always believe it. This is not a flaw. This is the machine working exactly as it was designed. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett spent decades studying how emotions are actually constructed in the human brain, and her conclusions shook the field. In her research and her landmark book, How Emotions Are Made, Barrett argues that emotions are not universal, hardwired reactions that happen to you. They are predictions. Your brain is constantly building a model of the world based on past experience, bodily state, and available context. When it detects a change in your body's internal chemistry, it searches its memory for the most likely explanation. It generates an emotion that fits the pattern. Then it presents that emotion to your conscious mind as if it is simply reading reality. It is not reading reality. It is authoring it. And here is where it gets strange, because those predictions are built from everything your ancestors experienced before you: fear of the dark, mistrust of strangers, the tightening in your chest when you feel excluded from a group. These were survival signals once. They were accurate. They kept your great-great-thousand times great-grandmother alive long enough to pass her genes forward. But you are not her. You are standing in a heated apartment with a refrigerator full of food and a phone in your hand, and your brain is still running the same threat detection software it ran on the open savanna. The chemical signals fire, the emotion assembles. and you feel afraid or angry or desperate in a situation that does not actually require any of those responses. Your emotions are often solving problems that no longer exist. Consider dopamine. You know it as the pleasure chemical, the reward molecule, the reason social